Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then thank you for stopping by. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Today, we're doing a twin flame reading for the Twin Flame Collective. And right as I was beginning to shuffle, the temple path in the upright position came out from the Energy Oracle cards deck. I'm going to read just a little bit from the guidebook for this card to get us started here. Spiritual purpose and supports. I simply feel that this card was coming out because someone needs to be reminded here that they are really deeply spiritually supported, protected, guided, even if at times this person feels alone. Also, you are on your path and on your purpose. I know that someone tuning in here needed a reminder of that fact. As the guidebook says here, receiving this card represents your own spiritual evolution. The winding path you are on leads to a blessed temple in a lovely garden, symbolizing the spiritual destiny your soul has had in mind for this lifetime. This card is here to tell you that what you're going through now is all part of your soul's process. You are heading in the right direction, clearing karma, and the choices you make now are important for your personal growth and life lessons. Really beautiful opening messages there from the guidebook. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and also make sure to subscribe to this channel, because by liking and subscribing, you are virtually transmitting your energy to me, and I'm actually able to pick up on that energy and channel more clearly for you and your situation. As I'm getting started with this reading, immediately I'm starting to feel some upper back tension, particularly in the right side of my body. Now, because I'm feeling this on the right side, this could symbolize something happening within the Divine Masculine's energy field, particularly because this is the heart chakra center that connects with this kind of upper back body. So I feel as though this could signify some kind of, I heard a holding on to happening within this Divine Masculine's heart center. I know that's a bit vague to get started, but I do know we will be channeling more specific messages on that moving forward into this reading. By the way, thank you to all of you who are listening to this live. I have really loved the beautiful energy we've brought together in the live chats. For those of you who don't know, I am now doing these twin flame readings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are live premiering, so I will be chatting with you in the live chat during those times and listening to the reading along with you. These are really healing times and spaces that we're creating together, so be sure to stop by at those times if you get a chance. So let's channel a little more information on this. What is this Divine Masculine still holding on to? What is this Divine Masculine holding on to here? Door to value in the upright position. The image of money on this card really stood out to me, and I'm taking it more metaphoric as some kind of materialism or some connection to this physical 3D world. I feel as though there is a Divine Masculine here who could be holding on to something in his physical world that's gives him a sense of stability or groundedness, but isn't necessarily aligned with his highest self. I'm hearing this as something he's holding on to out of fear of letting it go. This could range in so many different directions. This could be many different things because this could be a very 3D based love relationship. This could be a job he's holding on to, a location that he doesn't want to leave. I heard this feels to the divine feminine some kind of a block, like that is kind of how her ego perceives it, as though him holding on to this thing is preventing her from being able to fully connect with him. I heard interference. I'm getting this image of like two twin flames trying to speak to one another, trying to communicate, but then it's like there's this static. There's this sense of like what we think of as like a radio interference in this metaphor. And I feel that this divine masculine has something in his life, again, something he's holding on to, that is perpetuating a little bit of a block in the heart center that then the divine feminine is sensing as some kind of interference with their connection. Of course, for true twin flame connection, there is no interference on a soul level, on an energetic level. So I'm speaking purely from a 3D, somewhat ego-based perspective here. So what is this divine masculine holding on to here? I heard this thing could be something that gives him a sense of value or worth. So this could be something he's holding on to that causes him to feel a kind of sense of value or worth that perhaps he hasn't yet fully learned to find within himself. Now, do keep in mind throughout these readings that when I speak to the masculine and feminine energies, I am quite literally referring to energies, not referring to a biological male or female, a man or a woman per se. Twin flames can be of the same gender within a connection. Also, a woman can be a divine masculine, a man can be a divine feminine, and of course, vice versa as well. And alternatively, we also do have each of these energies within ourselves. So it's important to keep that in mind as well, because sometimes when I'm channeling certain energy dynamics for the masculine or feminine, it's actually applying to our own inner masculine or inner feminine. The card Caring Connections came out. By the way, this is the number 14 card, and I'm sensing that someone has been seeing a lot of 1s and 4s lately. The fact that the Caring Connections card came out here and another card flew out, just give me a second. This tells me that part of what a divine masculine could be holding on to could, again, quite literally be a very 3D based relationship. I do keep seeing the contract card in my mind, which is taken to usually represent, in this case, some kind of a karmic contract. I heard unfinished business. So this masculine may be looking at this situation thinking, you know, there's something unresolved here. There's something I need to finish out or close out here before I can leave, before I can step away, before I can fulfill this contract. Again, this could literally be a karmic contract with a person, a third party situation. This could also be literally a job contract, something that this masculine feels he must, or literally must for legal reasons or whatever, must finish out some kind of contract before he can step away. Only take this if it resonates with you, and of course with all of my messages, only take what connects with you, because through these collective readings, I do channel many different collective and individual messages. So the Thinking Man reversed and the Action card in the upright position came out here. And what this tells me, I just instantly heard this clear message, releasing ego and stepping into action. So we've been speaking about what potentially this masculine has been a little bit stagnant in or stuck in at the moment. But these two cards speak to the present future energy, meaning what we are going to experience from the masculine moving into the future. And again, this could apply to what you think of as your external masculine, whether you define that as yourself or the other in your connection, but this equally could apply to your inner masculine. The Financial Constraints reverse card, and I just heard breaking free, breaking out. rising into something new. So energetically, this masculine is releasing ego, moving into action and breaking out of something, moving into the future. And of course, I am going to be channeling specifics on this as well. The words poem, British, and people came out here if any of those words connect with you in some way. By the way, for those of you who are new, those words are from the Love Word Scramble, which is a tool I use to channel specific words and messages for certain individuals. So how is this masculine releasing his ego here with the thinking man reversed? How is this masculine releasing ego? Yeah, with this financial constraints reversed, I heard it's like, I felt like, or at times I still feel like I'm trapped. I heard backed into a corner in some sense, and I want to break free. I feel this desire to break free, and yet this feeling of, again, almost obligation is the word coming up here. This may literally be some kind of legal or contractual, is that the right word? Contractual obligation for this divine masculine. But this could also be something that just feels that restrictive, that feels like some kind of a contract, something binding him. But again, this is shifting. This is something he's breaking free of. I feel that if you haven't seen movement in this situation, if this resonates with you, it's like this masculine wants to say, I've been thinking heavily about desiring to break free of this situation, wanting to break free of it, wanting to break free of the constraints or the binds, that this feeling of obligation, again, whatever this may be, some kind of a karmic cycle, a third party, I almost wanted to say pattern. So this could be someone, if there is a third party, it could be someone that this masculine appears to keep going back to in some sense. That might apply to someone specifically because the word pattern did want to make its way out there. But whatever the situation is for this masculine, it's like, again, this is something he's thought heavily about leaving, about exiting. I heard actually the word escape. I heard I just want to run away together. That might apply for someone literally. The word sentence came out here as well from the Love Word Scramble. I know that some of you left a comment on my last video and said that your divine masculine was literally serving a prison sentence. So I feel that that could apply literally for some of you who resonated with that before. But for most of you, I feel that this could apply more energetically and metaphorically. Like, again, whatever situation they're in feels like a contract with an end date, feels like a metaphorical prison sentence with a date of release. There's like this feeling of, I feel like I can't break out of this immediately, but I'm looking forward to my freedom. I am desiring to be free of this situation. And I heard expiration date. So whatever the situation is for this masculine, there is this feeling of this thing that I'm in, divine feminine, has an expiration date. Like, this is not, I heard this is not my forever person. This is not my forever place or situation. Even if at times to you, divine feminine, this situation looks very stuck. The solar plexus, third chakra reversed came out here. This speaks to confidence, boundaries. I feel that this could be speaking to potentially why some divine masculines haven't yet exited this situation, because energetically the time isn't right. And the reason for this is because something still needs to heal within them before they can naturally break free of this cycle pattern or situation. And I feel that what needs to be healed is predominantly centered for them at the moment in the solar plexus chakra. Now, of course, we can see different chakra centers getting involved here as well, and perhaps those will come up later. But right now, there is something about this divine masculine's sense of value, worth, or confidence being affected here. So I am going to reshuffle the rest of the cards and channel some specifics on this. So why is this divine masculine's confidence or sense of value coming into play here in this situation he feels stuck in or wants to break free from? The word division came out from the Love Word Scramble. Also the word visitor, if that connects with you. But the word division, I heard First of all, I heard two things. One is internal conflicts, and the second is avoiding conflict in the external. So I could be channeling a masculine here who I'm hearing him say, just like live and let live. I feel that in general, his personality type could be that of someone who is very repulsed by conflict, doesn't like conflict externally. This won't apply to everyone. I'm not picking up this as every divine masculine in the collective, just some segments of the collective. But I'm also hearing that this desire to avoid conflict manifests itself within as internal conflict as well. I'm hearing there could be a masculine who struggles to sort out what he truly wants or desires from his relationships or his life, because he has had that attitude of just live and let live for so long that it's difficult to sort out his own true, pure, authentic desires and to decide what he wants to move forward on. So he just remains stuck in certain situations, again, potentially to avoid conflict. I don't feel that this message will connect with everyone. Literally, I will be channeling a few different things for this reversed solar plexus card. So don't worry if this doesn't connect with you personally. The playfulness card came out here. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Interesting. I'm going to see if I can channel more information related to this playfulness card, because I do feel that there's a message here as well. Woman holding a heart in the reverse position. This card actually wanted to come out earlier, but it kind of like half came out when I was shuffling, so I wasn't really sure if this was the card for this reading. So I continued shuffling, but then it came out again. So clearly there's a message from this card. And when this card came out earlier in this reading, I heard karmic and like a female karmic specifically being involved in this situation for a divine masculine. I don't feel that this will connect with everyone. I'm just getting this energy from this playfulness card and this woman holding a heart reverse card, this feeling of I'm picking up on a masculine who sees his connection with the divine feminine as very light, very playful, very joyful, very fun and authentic. I feel like it brings out his I heard like childlike innocence, his playful side. It makes him feel young again. To be in the presence of his divine feminine is kind of what I'm getting from a masculine. And I feel as though there's something very heavy about this karmic situation if there is some kind of a karmic third party involving an external feminine energy or another woman or something like that. And I feel as though this masculine kind of, I heard, uses daydreams as an escape. So even if you aren't in contact, I feel that he finds himself daydreaming about the divine feminine and about this connection in moments when his current situation feels really heavy or stuck in some way. So what else is going on here with this third chakra card reversed? How else is this divine masculine's confidence impacting this situation? The seventh chakra reverse card came out here, speaking to the crown chakra. So some of what could be coming up here as well related to confidence and value is there could be a divine masculine who is receiving new downloads, new insight, spiritually speaking, but he's not yet steady enough energetically to fully be able to consciously register these downloads and actually move forward on them. It's like there's this feeling here of I'm starting to receive this new clarity or insight from the divine through this unfolding spiritual awakening, but there's a part of me that is still afraid to trust that newfound knowing. I'm seeing this specifically come into play at times for some in the collective within this connection itself. In the physical, it's like there's a masculine literally receiving the knowing like we share this powerful soul connection, or we are twin flames. It's like he knows this, or he's receiving a lot of signs about this on some level, but there's a part of him with this solar plexus chakra reversed that doesn't yet feel fully confident in this newfound knowing. So I'm hearing for the divine feminine this message of being patient as this masculine learns to develop that authentic inner confidence to be able to really sort through his own opinions, ideas from other people who may disagree with him or who may be upset by this newfound knowing that he is coming into within himself. What else is going on here with this divine masculine's crown chakra being in the reverse position here? Okay, action reversed. So Spirit wants me to also mention that if things have felt stuck or stagnant or inactive in some way in this connection, this could also be playing into that as well. It's like until this masculine fully builds confidence in himself and consciously receives that clarity, that knowing that he is beginning to receive, but again, not yet fully trusting. He's not yet fully energetically stabilized. And that may lead to periods of what appears to be inaction or stagnancy even in the physical. Deceit and envy, very interesting. I heard continuing to try to keep up a facade or an illusion. So there could be a divine masculine. This won't be for everyone. I heard lying to himself. So there could be a divine masculine who's feeling really empty, feeling really unfulfilled with this envy card coming out here. This doesn't just speak specifically to jealousy, but also just to feelings of lack of fulfillment and lack in general. And I feel like there's a divine masculine feeling really unsatisfied with his life or feeling really unfulfilled in the physical. And yet there are some masculines in the collective who are still trying to maintain this illusion of happiness, but deep down they know that they are realizing how unhappy or unfulfilled they are in current circumstances of feeling disconnected again from their higher self, feeling unaligned in their life path, or perhaps even still being stuck in whatever this situation was that we were channeling earlier, whether it involves a karmic, a third party, etc. Again, only take from this what connects with you. The collective energies we share are the same. We do experience these same energy shifts and dynamics, which is how these collective readings work. But at the same time, the way that these energies manifest can be very different depending on your circumstances and specific situation. The word oldest came out here, so I could be speaking to someone who is an oldest child in a family, or there could be some kind of an age gap at play in this connection. Also, the word news and composed came out here. I specifically heard, and this message probably will just be for one or two people, but I'm hearing that someone may have recently received some kind of surprising information or news about their counterpart in a period of physical separation. And I heard hold it together. So this could have been news that actually was unhappy news for this person, that caused them to feel some kind of emotional pain when they heard it, to the point where it's like they had to compose themselves or act like they weren't reacting to this information, but it did cause them pain. Now, I'm not speaking to everyone in the collective here. That may just be a few people tuning in here. So now let's speak to the divine feminine. So what is going on right now with the divine feminine in the physical? By the way, if those messages were connecting with you, we're going to go much more in depth in the Patreon extended version of this reading. So I will be channeling more specifics on what kinds of karmic patterns, situations, even third parties for some, could be involved in this situation, and how this divine masculine's reversed solar plexus energy, their confidence, their sense of value, as well as their crown chakra reversed card, this spiritual awakening that is continuing to happen still in the process of shifting them, how all of that could be affecting them more literally in the physical. So all of that information will be in the extended version, and the link to the Patreon page where you can access that is in the pinned comment in description box under this video. So what is the Divine Feminine feeling or thinking here? What is going on with the feminine energy in the Twin Flame Collective? Okay, 2 cards here. Victory in the upright position, and 5th chakra, the throat chakra card, also in the upright position. These are extremely positive cards for the Divine Feminine. Combining the victory, success, achievement card with the throat chakra really speaks to this powerful coming into one's voice, powerfully opening the throat chakra center. I heard beginning to not only consciously understand her truth, but to confidently speak her truth. I feel that because that message specifically is coming out here, there could have been a Divine Feminine who for a long time, I hear there's a Divine Feminine here who's been on this path of spiritual awakening for a while. And for a while, she's had these opinions, ideas, thoughts, realizations that really differed from many people around her in the physical. So I feel that for a while, because of this past reversed throat chakra energy, she may have remained quiet instead of speaking her truth. Also, I'm smiling because the Temple Path card, Divine Feminine, also came out for you again, the number 12 card. You might be seeing a lot of the number 1212 or 2121. Know that this can be a sign of alignment, that you are on your path, on purpose, living or walking your true soul's path, even if at times you feel confused or things might feel a little bit dark. Also, that reminds me that I did see the number 2121 on the recording timer earlier, and I haven't done this in a while, but those of you who have been with me for a while know that usually when I remember to, I try to look up these numbers and channel messages from the search results whenever they come up in the middle of a reading. And of course, this number says, your hard work is paying off, and now is the time to begin reaching your goals. So again, these are very, very positive messages for the Divine Feminine, speaking to all of this long process of spiritual awakening, spiritual growth. I feel that I heard growing pains. I feel that there's a Divine Feminine who has been through just a lot of pain, either emotionally or physically in her life since her spiritual awakening began. I'm hearing that for many, she's been on this path for a while. For some, this could be 5 or 6 years. For others, this may be 10 years or longer. For some, it could be more recent. It kind of depends which wave of twin flames you are in. I might speak more on twin flame waves in future videos as well, so let me know if you'd like to hear more on that. This is also why at times it can be a little bit challenging to channel very specifically in these readings, because although we are all experiencing the same twin flame energy beneath the surface, how it manifests physically can depend on our physical circumstances between us and our twin, and also it can depend on what wave of twin flames we are part of, meaning essentially at what points, at what wave of collective consciousness, I guess is one way to think of it, we became conscious of the fact that we were twin flames. We woke up, so to speak, to the twin flame path. This indicates the certain twin flame wave that we are part of. The words please and Bill came out. I'm hearing the word Bill, although it wasn't a name in the love word scramble, could refer literally to a name. Also the name William, potentially. So what else does the Divine Feminine need to know here? I'm getting a little tingling on my crown chakra, so some Divine Feminines may be feeling some strange head sensations. I'm hearing head pressure, head tingling. I'm hearing that when you get these crown chakra sensations, I'm hearing for some of you, this can be a sign that your guides, your spiritual team, your spiritual support is nearby and potentially even trying to give you some kind of a message or guidance in that moment, or to tell you to pay attention to something in your physical reality. body. I'm also actually getting this completely random side message that some of you Divine Feminines listening are actually being communicated to by your guides through your dream state. So keep that in mind as well. I'm hearing a dream journal, so you may find it useful to write down things that happen in your dreams to keep some kind of a log of your dream experiences. Also, the card Communicate Clearly from the Ask Angels deck came out here, which speaks to two things in my mind here. One is, of course, just reaffirming that message with the Victory card in the 5th chakra, the throat chakra upright, saying that this Divine Feminine is learning to communicate clearly, but not in the traditional sense. I'm hearing that yes, she will be able to quite literally communicate more effectively with others as a result of this energetic shift. But this card is really speaking to that energy shift and not so much to the physical manifestations, meaning that this Divine Feminine is quite literally energetically clearing her throat chakra, meaning that she's not only communicating more effectively with others, she's actually also learning to clearly communicate with the divine, meaning her higher self, her spiritual support, to clearly hear her own intuition and inner guidance as well. So I'm really feeling guided in the extended version of this reading to channel some higher self messages from this Divine Feminine's, potentially her spirit team, any spiritual support around her, as well as her own higher self. So if you do feel guided to receive those messages as a Divine Feminine as well, those will be in the extended version on Patreon, which again is linked under this video in the pinned comment and description box. I am hearing there could be one final quick message of guidance here in this reading before we get into the extended from the Starseed Oracle deck. So what is one final message for this Divine Feminine listening? I heard through pain you found yourself, and I just got a wave of goosebumps. I heard this was the alchemic process, a transmutation process that took place within you. Wow, I'm getting so many goosebumps right now. I feel like there's a Divine Feminine who has gone through a lot of pain. And I hear, although it was challenging, your pain prepared you. It transformed you into the beautiful being that you now are. And you are more beautiful on this quite very deep spiritual, energetic level, Divine Feminine, than you even consciously realize. But slowly you are remembering that beauty. You are radiating it from this soul deep level. Look back and see how far you've come and be so proud of yourself, regardless of where you are right now. Is there one message from the Starseed Oracle here? And one card came out. Wow, the blue flame. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. And I'm going to read a little bit from this card from the guidebook as well. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel scary when we're walking through it alone. This isn't easy. The awakening process takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. If you're in the midst of an awakening, treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Starseed activation, and this feels really powerful for you, Divine Feminines. I allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate my experience each and every day. Really beautiful message. Some of you may need to take a deep grounding breath to fully absorb that beautiful message from your higher self and whatever other divine forces you connect with there. And again, we will be channeling more information on that for you, Divine Feminine, in the extended version. So now I'm going to be channeling some higher self or love-related messages from the Divine Masculine. And then, of course, we will channel from the Feminine as well. The name Jack came out. Also the words hollow and character. With the word character, I'm hearing someone could quite literally be into acting, but alternatively, and actually for most of the collective, I feel that this could indicate a Divine Masculine here who at times feels as though he's acting or playing a part in some sense in this physical world that isn't truly him. Actually, this could apply to some Divine Feminines as well. I'm also picking up on that. And with the word hollow coming out here, I feel as though this speaks to something feeling very empty about playing this role or playing this part. I keep hearing family roles. So this could be something to do with this Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine's family dynamic. Alternatively, this could also refer to someone who has a family and who feels as though they are playing some kind of a role that isn't quite themselves within that family dynamic. Can I get a message from this Divine Masculine's higher self here? Community reversed. So a Divine Masculine feeling alone, feeling isolated. I'm hearing even if he's around other people. I'm hearing that this loneliness, this isolation, if this Divine Masculine is feeling this way, is allowing him to integrate. Just as we pulled the blue flame card for the Divine Feminine, I feel as though this Divine Masculine is going through his own ignition of his soul, quite literally a spiritual awakening. And of course, we've been channeling this throughout recent readings. This is an ongoing message. And I feel as though part of why he's experiencing this 3D loneliness is to give himself the time and space to integrate this newfound spiritual energy flowing through him, but also to integrate his own inner Divine Feminine who has been very wounded and really taken a back seat within him, meaning that I feel many masculines, I heard, had to pretend to not have emotions or not care, not have that creative, or I heard embarrassed. It's almost like there's a masculine who's embarrassed of this creative, beautiful, passionate, sensitive side of himself. And I feel that in the past, he could have been surrounded by people who somehow amplified this desire to hide his own inner feminine, to remain very dominantly hyper masculine, energetically speaking. I heard toxic masculinity, so I'm quite literally picking up on a masculine who could have been around a very hyper masculine friend group for a long time, and then perhaps recently within the last few years or months, he may have felt himself just growing apart from these people or feeling more distanced from them, and this could bring up feelings of loneliness. But what this also means is that there is a kind of divine intervention and divine protection at play here for this masculine. He could be divinely guided to spend more time alone in order to actually allow his own inner feminine to be integrated, to balance out his inner masculine. Yeah, and the card Angel of Love came out here in the upright position as well. How does this Angel of Love card apply here? I heard through loneliness, I am learning a kind of softness, a greater love, a greater compassion. So again, there could be a masculine who was somehow physically extracted, is almost the word I'm getting, from some kind of friend group or social setting or situation, or from other people just generally, in order to allow them to really develop that more soft, compassionate, loving side of their being. Walking away in the reverse position. Through distancing from others, I've been coming home to myself. That's kind of what I hear a masculine saying here. So what does this masculine want to say on a higher self level to the Divine Feminine specifically. Called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. I heard this Divine Masculine's higher self saying, Divine Feminine, we are being jointly called for a shared purpose. And again, this is coming from his higher self, so he may or may not be fully conscious of these messages. What else does this Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? Whale and Orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. I hear this Divine Masculine admiring the Divine Feminine who is really opening her throat chakra, really beginning to open herself up. I see like a flower that is beginning to bloom. And I feel that on a higher self level, this Divine Masculine soul sees the Divine Feminine this way, regardless of their physical circumstances, and is simply telling her to keep going, to keep radiating her authenticity, her truth, to keep allowing herself to blossom and open, and know that on an energetic level, he is always there supporting her again, regardless of their circumstances. With this called card saying it's time to step up, I also hear this masculine saying, I know it's time for me to step up. And I am doing that work on an energetic level. I'm hearing in part through dream time. So for some of the collective, you could be having dreams about your person where you're having conversations or where certain scenarios or events are taking place. And if this is happening for you, this could be a sign that your Divine Masculine is actually going through some really powerful healing or shifting through these dream state experiences. The action card reversed came out here as well. And I feel this Divine Masculine's higher self saying to the Divine Feminine, I know at times I still appear to be inactive. I still appear like I'm not moving forward, but there's something you need to know, Divine Feminine, about this inaction. What does this Divine Feminine need to know from the Divine Masculine about his period of inaction or stagnancy? I heard it's only a cycle. It's only a phase, like it's a natural kind of cycle that I'm in. I have to allow things to shift naturally. This could be a Divine Masculine speaking back to some kind of obligation or unfinished business he has in the physical. Yeah, a personal issue reaches a resolution. This is definitely confirmation for what I was just saying for some of you, that there's a Divine Masculine who wants to say on this higher self level that he knows he has this unfinished business or unresolved situation, either within himself or literally with another system or another person or whatever it is that this Divine Feminine perceives keeping them apart. But with this card Full Moon in Cancer, I hear this very like full circle completion energy from this card. Also, with the sign of Cancer coming out here, I feel as though this Divine Masculine may also be speaking to how he could be feeling really emotional right now about this situation specifically, or about the Divine Feminine more generally. This also could speak to this specific issue reaching its resolution points or its full circle points around Cancer season, which of course will be this upcoming summer. Yeah, so I'm hearing that for some, you can expect some kind of powerful shift or change or something to really come full circle around summertime. Yeah, and the last card to come out here is this situation will improve. So I am hearing a lot of messages of confirmation from this Divine Masculine's higher self here, saying to the Divine Feminine, whatever situation I'm in that appears to be keeping me stuck or stagnant, even if it seems impossible, continue to trust and have faith that I am shifting, that I am going through these major changes and upgrades within myself. Know that on a soul level, I am always energetically supporting you and assisting you, even at times through your dreams. And there is something in my life that appears to have been keeping me stuck that is going to come to a resolution, a completion point. And of course, the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, came out in the upright position here, speaking to this masculine, healing that energy we were speaking on earlier, that lack of confidence, potential lack of boundaries, fear of creating conflict with others by truly stepping into his power and speaking his truth. This is something powerfully healing for this masculine. And with this card coming out up right here, I feel his higher self simply speaking to this deep level energetic healing process continuing to take place within him and reminding the divine feminine to trust. So I am going to pull a Rumi Oracle card to close out this initial reading, because this reading is going to get kind of long. So I'm going to save the divine feminine higher self messages for the extended. So in the extended version of this reading, I will be channeling much more in-depth information on the questions that came up already in the reading, such as how this masculine's solar plexus blocks and shifting crown chakra energy could be affecting his interactions, karmic situations, third parties, etc. in the physical world. Also, I said we would be channeling some higher self messages from the divine feminine to herself, as well as messages to her divine masculine. And of course, I will be channeling more love messages from the divine masculine as well. So all of that information will be in the extended version on Patreon, which is linked in the pinned comment and description box under this video. But for now, I want to close out this reading with a Rumi Oracle card. So what is one final message for twin flames tuning into this reading? Blood Angel. This card is the number 7 card. I've seen that number a lot through cards in this reading, so the number 7 might really be significant for some of you. But I'm hearing this also represents the completion of a cycle, just like in the Bible, God created the earth in 7 days, and just like our week is 7 days long. And I'm also hearing that story from the Bible about the man who had to work 7 years. I believe it was Jacob and Leah and Leah's sister Rachel, and how he had to work 7 years to be able to be with who he truly wanted to be with, which was actually Rachel, but he first had to marry Leah, the other daughter. Let me know if I'm getting that Bible story correct. I might be leaving out a few details, so you can look it up yourself, but the gist of the message I'm getting through this story is, well, first of all, this may apply quite literally to a masculine who's in a third-party situation. Just like Jacob had to marry Leah first, there could be some kind of metaphoric situation where this masculine feels as though he had some kind of prior obligation to another person or third party, and there has to be this completion of a cycle in order to ultimately be with or reunite with the person he truly desires to be with. But alternatively, I'm hearing this message also of simply this overarching theme of completion of a cycle, having to work at something and remain focused on something that he wants without having it for a long time before finally reaching that cycle completion point and being able to receive what he truly desires. So let me know if that resonates with anyone. I don't feel that will be for everyone. That may just connect with a few people, but I do want to close this reading by reading from the guidebook for this card. In the midst of darkness, a moon appeared with its brilliance. Stepping down from the clouds, it glanced at me like a falcon that hunts a bird and steals it away. It captured me and flew back to infinite space. As I looked for myself, I could not find me, for my body had become all soul in the tenderness of love. The 9 spheres of heaven dissolved in that moon as the ship of my existence drowned in the sea of love. Rumi, do you dare place a limit on how much life you can contain? I pour of myself into your hearts and invite you to become nothing and everything with me. Let us be the sunrise that greets the new day and the sunset that honors the dying of the day in radiant glory. Let us be the angel of lights arising from darkness, and the starburst in the awakening heart of a human beloved. Be the moon at the back of my heart, and the sun at the front of my heart. Be wordless and wise. Let us have nothing, that we know for certain, and be content. Let us be all, and let us be nothing. Let us be. I feel like that's a really beautiful place to close out this reading. If you enjoyed this reading, be sure to give this video a like, and also make sure you are subscribed if you haven't yet. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. The link to all of the extended, more in-depth channeled messages for this reading are linked in the pinned comment and description box as usual. Thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you again in Monday's Twin Flame reading.